What's going on, everybody? Listen, here's a conversation that came up recently. I was talking to some folks, and this was a statement. This is in the title too. They said, there's no excuse for people to think like this in the 21st century with the internet and the access to all the different things we have access to. So, and that makes sense on the surface, but I think it's a little disingenuous as far as understanding that everybody doesn't process things or do things the way that we do things. So just a couple thoughts here. Everybody's environment is not my environment. So while I have access to certain things, or I believe certain things or do certain things, everybody else might not. The other thing is, everyone else hasn't had the same exposures. I haven't had the same exposures they had. They haven't had the same ones I've had. And then the other thing is, everyone doesn't have the same priorities. And I think that's the part where it really boils down. Everybody doesn't care about other cultures. Everybody doesn't think the same way. So as a result of that, what ends up happening is that we put our mindset, perspectives, and opinions on how other people should behave. When in actuality, a lot of people are just into watching different TV shows, whatever. And they could care less about African diaspora or financial literacy until it's still time for the student loans to get paid. And it's like, hey, can you help me out? So yeah, the information is out there, but if the mindset isn't there, then nothing's gonna change. If the information can be sitting there right in front of them, but if the mindset does not go along with it. And so, sometimes what we have to do from a cultural standpoint is continue to teach people, and that's how mindsets shift. I can tell you countless times where people have come to me, they put it in the comments, they've come to me, sent me a message, my mindset has shifted. I didn't even think about it like that. And I'm talking about, these are people with PhDs. I'm talking about highly westernized, educated people who said, my whole perspective has shifted, just based upon the common sense, practical things that you're sharing and showing us. But what if I took the attitude like, oh, I'm not going to share anything with them because they should be doing this as 21st century. It's either we care or we don't. So sometimes, we're all learning. Everybody's learning, and everybody's growing at a different rate. And while it might be an excuse, it's a legitimate excuse for a lot of people just don't know if their culture. I was saying this before, you got people in churches sitting up here that has African at the beginning of the thing, African whatever church, and they have no knowledge of Africa, have no desire to travel to Africa, nothing about it, nothing. They're just out here just doing their thing. And so you have a lot of people who are just in that place, who just kind of have a understanding, or they have a perception of Africa. And that perception is whatever that perception is. Some of it's positive, some of it's negative. Some of it's based on movies like Coming to America and Black Panther, and that's their perception of what Africa is, without really understanding that it's much deeper than that. But just like the imperialist and the colonizer went and indoctrinated and repeated the process year after year after year, that's how aggressive we have to be with sharing alternative perspectives as it pertains to what we see and what we're learning. But if we just sit back and say, oh, well, these people need to get it on their own, it's not going to happen like that. Just like there's an intentional effort through entertainment to be able to shape perspectives, shape behaviors, why do you think, why do you think you have people with African features bleaching their skin, getting all types of procedures in order to change themselves? And you can flip that around. You can even say, why are people going, white people trying to get black people's butts or whatever. You can flip it around, but I'm talking about my folks at this particular time. Why do you think that's happening? That people are literally bleaching their God-given skin to try to look like something that they're not, and 9 times out of 10 are trying to look like somebody white. Why do you think that's happening? Because they saw something, they heard something. Something said to them, what you have is not good, what you have is bad. So that was done repeatedly over and over and over throughout history. They didn't have to go search that out. That wasn't something that, I got to go search out how I don't like my natural features. That was put in front of them. So what I'm saying is that for those of us who have this information, to keep putting it out there and having these conversations so people's mindsets have the opportunity to change. So they have the opportunity to hear an alternative other than what's being promoted. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, there's satellite dishes. When I've been all throughout Africa, there's satellite dishes on mud houses and homes that were barely constructed, on mansions, everywhere. The one thing that the new colonizer is that satellite dish, and that information getting in there, and them seeing the culture and the music and the fashion and the entertainment. And so that's the great influencer. But you rarely hear somebody come with an alternative thought to say there's nothing wrong with you, you're okay. That's why when the beautiful, I believe she was Miss USA or Miss Universe, and I believe she was from South Africa. And dark skin, natural hair, beautiful. And not cute to be dark skinned, just straight up beautiful. And so many people celebrated that because internally they were looking for that validation. So now that drove where people were cool, man. I can wear my hair, I can do what I need to do. I don't have to bleach my skin, I don't have to do X, Y, Z. But not everybody got that message. Not everybody got that message. And there were still some people in the background talking about, yeah, she need to go do something with herself. She need to go up there, how she gonna go over all the naps on her head, and how she gonna go up there, and she gonna no. And these would be black people, brown people, caramel people, white people, pink people, whatever you want, It would be those people saying that. But when you get enough people coming to say, nah, we celebrate you, sister, just the way you are. And we celebrate you, brother, just the way you are. And when we start doing that and we have the content that pushes that narrative, then that's when things change. That's when opportunities come, because people don't have to feel as though they need to alter themselves in order to fit in. They can say, I'm gonna rock this just the way that it is. I'm good with it how it is. Or I'll just create my own opportunity. Just like when I was talking to Adora. Be sure to check out the interview with Adora. And she's from Russia. She's Russian and Nigerian. And so she was in an all-white world. And in that world, they were basically ignoring her Nigerian heritage. But she had to be intentional about learning about her heritage and being proud of her hair and her complexion and just her ethnicity. And where other people, you say, oh no, I don't want anything to do. I'm running from my ethnicity. I don't even want to be, I don't want to be nothing African no more. I just don't want nothing to do with it. And you see people doing that, and then they live this life of trying to fit in and assimilate into something that is purely not natural. And now some people just kind of, again, that's when people gaslight themselves and they say, okay, I'm good with this, and that's their prerogative, it's their life. Some people are cool with that. Some people live like that, that's their thing. But there are other people who have these internal questions, and they just need for someone to say it's okay. And when everybody else is saying it's not okay, it's good for them to hear somebody say it's okay to be who you are. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay for you to do and be who you are. And you don't have to try to do all of these things to fit in to someone else and what someone else's model and someone else's role and someone else's this, that, and the other. And what they're doing is they're creating opportunities for themselves, and they're not going and just sitting in trying to, I'm just going to fit in just because I want to fit in. They're like, no, I'm gonna be proud. And as a matter of fact, those will be the ones who are pioneers for the next generation. Young girls and boys, they look and they see that person who stood up in the face of all of these alterations, where other people aren't making the same level of alterations, although they make, some of them do, but they don't see culture-wide. Please hear what I'm saying. Please hear what I'm saying. Please hear what I'm saying. Because I know somebody in the comments, well, so-and-so, the white people do X, Y, Z. I'm not talking about the few outliers. I'm talking about culture-wide. They get up in the morning, they do their thing, and they keep it moving. In our culture, we're trying to figure out how we're going to go in and fit into their world. And so there are more and more people waking up and saying, we're going to create opportunities for ourselves where we can fit in and do what we need to do within our own context, and making it happen like that. So that's my encouragement. Whether the information is out there or not, if the people don't have the mindset to go look for it, they're not going to go look for it. So what are we going to do about it? Well, what we're going to do here at Maximum Impact with Jay Cameron, we're going to keep creating content. that inspires people to go look a little bit deeper. That's why you have the Adventures of Darren and Destiny children's book series, animated series, live production. We're going to be unveiling our apparel line, linens. All of this good stuff is coming, so children will have the opportunity to see these images, and just like they do entertainment and do all of these different things to promote their messages, then that's what we're going to do. There are going to be other people who are going to promote books. They're going to just promote by being who they are. And so when we're unapologetic who we are, whether we're mixed ethnicity, whether we are 100% ethnicity, whatever it is, that's how we're going to stand up and represent and be unapologetic about it. So hey, I'm gonna keep teaching, sharing, loving on folks, all that. And that's how we continue to bridge the gap. Subscribe, like, share. Maximum Impact with Jay Cameron. Talk to you soon.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny.
The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister, and you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana, and then we're going to go on a safari, and from there we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then we go to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They are learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on a children's level, so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do, and as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation, and they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa, and they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the Adventures of Darren and Destiny.